There comes a moment in every human life that arrives without warning. No trumpet announces it. No spotlight reveals it. No crowd gathers to witness it. The world keeps moving, cars keep driving, clocks keep ticking, people keep talking, yet deep inside something shifts. A realization appears, a truth so simple that most people overlook it their entire lives. The life you want is not waiting for permission. It is waiting for a decision. Not tomorrow, not next year, not when circumstances improve, not when fear disappears, not when confidence magically arrives. The life you want begins the moment you decide that the person staring back at you in the mirror will no longer be ruled by hesitation, because hesitation is one of the greatest thieves ever created. It steals dreams before they are born. It steals opportunities before they are pursued. It steals futures before they are built. And it does so quietly, not through dramatic failure, not through catastrophic mistakes, but through endless delay. One day becomes 1 week. 1 week becomes 1 month. 1 month becomes 1 year. Then one morning, a person wakes up and wonders where their life went. They wonder why success seems to belong to everyone else, why abundance seems reserved for others, why confidence appears natural for those around them. Yet what they fail to see is that every extraordinary life begins in exactly the same place. A decision. One decision to think differently. One decision to believe differently. One decision to act differently. Because destiny is rarely changed by giant leaps. It is changed by moments. Moments when an individual stops negotiating with weakness. Moments when excuses lose their power. Moments when comfort no longer feels comfortable. The greatest transformation in your life will not happen when the world changes. It will happen when you change. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast ocean. The horizon stretches endlessly before you. Most people spend their lives standing on the shore. They study the waves. They analyze the wind. They calculate the risks. They discuss possibilities. They wait for certainty. And while they wait, years disappear. The few who build extraordinary lives eventually understand something the crowd never does. The ocean will never become calm enough. The conditions will never become perfect enough. The timing will never become ideal enough. At some point, you must launch the ship. At some point, you must leave the shore. At some point, you must trust the vision that exists inside you more than the fears that surround you. Because fear has a voice. Fear speaks constantly. It whispers reasons. Reasons to wait. Reasons to doubt. Reasons to settle. Reasons to shrink. Fear says you are not ready. Fear says you lack experience. Fear says you might fail. Fear says people might judge you. Fear says the journey is too difficult. Fear says the dream is too ambitious. Fear says stay where you are. But fear has one weakness. It cannot survive action. The moment movement begins, fear starts losing strength. The moment you take a step forward, fear loses territory. The moment you commit, uncertainty begins to retreat. And that is why the most successful people are not those who feel no fear. They are those who refuse to obey it. They understand that courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is the decision that something else matters more, something greater, something larger, something worth pursuing. Deep within every person lives two identities. The first is who you are today. The second is who you could become. One is shaped by habits. The other is shaped by possibilities. One is built from the past. The other is built from vision. And every day these two versions of yourself stand face to face. One asks for comfort. The other asks for growth. One asks for certainty. The other asks for faith. One asks for safety. The other asks for expansion. The battle between them determines the direction of your life, because your future is not created by circumstances, it is created by identity. You will never consistently outperform the person you believe yourself to be. If you believe you are limited, your actions will become limited. If you believe you are average, your effort will become average. If you believe you are powerless, your decisions will become powerless. The mind is a remarkable instrument. It does not merely observe reality, it helps create it. Whatever dominates your thoughts eventually influences your actions. Whatever influences your actions eventually influences your results. Whatever influences your results eventually influences your destiny. This is why every great achievement begins invisibly. Long before success appears in the physical world, it is first constructed in the unseen world of thought. Every empire was once an idea. Every invention was once a vision. Every fortune was once a belief. Every transformation was once a decision. The visible world is merely the final chapter of an invisible process. And that process begins in the mind. Look closely at the lives of extraordinary individuals. Not just what they achieved. Look at what they believed before achievement arrived. They saw possibilities before evidence existed. They maintained conviction before results appeared. They held faith before proof emerged. The average mind demands evidence before belief. The exceptional mind creates belief before evidence. That distinction changes everything, because belief is not passive. Belief is creative. Belief alters posture. Belief alters energy. Belief alters persistence. Belief alters perception. A person who believes success is possible notices opportunities others ignore. A person who believes growth is possible embraces challenges others avoid. A person who believes abundance is possible takes actions others never consider. The world often appears different because people are looking through different lenses. Some see obstacles, others see opportunities. Some see limitations, others see possibilities. Some see reasons why something cannot be done, others see reasons why it must be done. The external world remains the same. The internal world changes, and the internal world always wins. That is why your greatest responsibility is guarding your mind, not occasionally, daily. Because every day the world attempts to hand you a script filled with doubt, a script filled with fear, a script filled with limitation, a script filled with mediocrity. If you accept that script, you begin acting it out. You begin living beneath your potential. You begin shrinking your ambitions. You begin lowering your standards. You begin settling for less than you were capable of becoming. Yet there is another choice. You can write your own script. You can decide what deserves your focus. You can decide what deserves your energy. You can decide what deserves your belief. Because attention is power. Whatever receives your attention receives your life. Focus on problems and problems grow. Focus on possibilities and possibilities expand. Focus on excuses and excuses multiply. Focus on solutions and solutions emerge. The mind functions like fertile soil. Whatever you consistently plant eventually grows. Plant doubt and doubt grows. Plant fear and fear grows. Plant resentment and resentment grows. Plant vision and vision grows. Plant purpose and purpose grows. Plant determination and determination grows. The harvest never surprises the farmer. The harvest reveals the planting. And life operates by the same principle. Every thought is a seed. Every belief is a seed. Every habit is a seed. Every decision is a seed. Your future is growing from seeds being planted today, this very moment, not someday. Now, that is why clarity matters. Without clarity, effort becomes scattered. Without clarity, energy becomes wasted. Without clarity, Potential remains dormant. A person with no clear destination is like a ship without a compass. Movement exists. Progress does not. Motion exists. Direction does not. Years can be spent moving without truly advancing. But the moment clarity enters your life, something extraordinary happens. Energy aligns, focus sharpens, decisions simplify. The fog begins to lift, and suddenly the path that once seemed impossible becomes visible, not because the journey became easier, because your vision became stronger. Vision is one of the most powerful forces available to humanity. It allows people to experience tomorrow before it arrives. It allows individuals to build futures that currently exist only in imagination. The world calls it imagination. History calls it creation. Every achievement that transformed civilization began as a mental picture held by someone who refused to let it die. That same power exists within you, right now, not reserved for the gifted, not reserved for the fortunate, not reserved for the chosen few. Within you lives the ability to envision a life greater than your current circumstances. Within you lives the ability to create a future larger than your current limitations. Within you lives the ability to become more than you have been. But vision alone is not enough, because many people have dreams. Few have commitment. Dreams inspire. Commitment transforms. Dreams excite. Commitment executes. Dreams create possibility. Commitment creates reality. The bridge between where you are and where you want to be is built from disciplined action. Not occasional action, not emotional action, not convenient action. Disciplined action. The kind that continues when motivation disappears. The kind that continues when progress feels invisible. The kind that continues when results are delayed. Because discipline is what turns intention into achievement. And achievement belongs to those who continue long after others stop. Most people dramatically overestimate what can happen in a day and underestimate what can happen in 5 years of relentless consistency. They become discouraged because transformation rarely announces itself. The oak tree does not burst from the ground overnight. The mountain is not carved in a single storm. The river does not create a canyon in one afternoon. Nature understands a truth many humans forget. Greatness is built gradually. The most powerful forces in existence are often invisible while they are working. A seed buried beneath the soil appears lifeless. Yet beneath the surface, roots are forming. Strength is developing. Foundations are expanding. Preparation is occurring. And when the time is right, what was hidden becomes visible. Your life often unfolds in the same way. There will be seasons when it feels as though nothing is happening. You will work without applause. You will sacrifice without recognition. You will grow without immediate evidence. The temptation during these seasons is to quit. The temptation is to conclude that effort is being wasted. The temptation is to mistake invisibility for failure. But the unseen is often where the greatest progress occurs. Character develops in silence. Discipline develops in silence. Patience develops in silence. Strength develops in silence. The world celebrates visible victories while ignoring invisible preparation. Yet invisible preparation creates visible victories. Every champion spends countless hours away from the spotlight. Every master spends years appearing ordinary. Every successful individual experiences periods where faith must carry them further than evidence can. This is where purpose becomes essential, because purpose provides fuel when excitement disappears. Anyone can move forward when conditions are favorable. Anyone can remain committed when success is immediate. Anyone can believe when everything is working. The real test arrives when progress slows. The real test arrives when obstacles emerge. The real test arrives when doubt begins knocking at the door. Purpose answers that doubt. Purpose reminds you why you started. Purpose reconnects you to something larger than temporary discomfort. Purpose transforms hardship into meaning. And meaning is powerful. A person can endure remarkable challenges when they know why they are enduring them. Without purpose, effort feels heavy. With purpose, effort becomes sacred. Every meaningful life is connected to something beyond personal convenience. The individuals who leave lasting impact understand this deeply. They are not merely chasing comfort. They are pursuing contribution. They are pursuing growth. They are pursuing significance. They are pursuing the fullest expression of who they were created to become. There is a difference between existing and truly living. Existing requires very little. Living requires intention. Existing follows the crowd. Living follows conviction. Existing accepts circumstances. Living transforms circumstances. Existing waits for opportunities. Living creates opportunities. Many people spend decades existing while convincing themselves they are living. They move through routines without questioning whether those routines are taking them toward the life they desire. They become prisoners of familiarity, not because their potential is limited, because their habits are. Habits are among the most powerful architects of destiny. They quietly shape outcomes day after day. A single habit appears insignificant. One choice seems harmless. One delay seems unimportant. Yet life is not determined by isolated moments. Life is determined by accumulated moments. The direction of your life is often hidden inside your daily routines. The person you become next year is being built by what you repeatedly do today. Your habits are casting votes for your future identity. Every action strengthens something. Every action weakens something. Every action moves you toward a destination. The question is not whether you are creating a future. You are. The question is whether you are creating one intentionally. Think about the immense power hidden inside repetition. A drop of water seems weak, yet over time it can shape stone. A single workout changes little. Repeated consistently, it transforms the body. A single page changes little. Repeated daily, it creates knowledge. A single act of courage changes little. Repeated often, it creates confidence. Success is rarely dramatic in its construction. It is dramatic in its outcome. The construction is often mundane. The construction is often repetitive. The construction is often unnoticed. But repetition possesses extraordinary power. That power can build you, or it can diminish you. The choice belongs to you, because every day presents two roads. One road leads toward immediate comfort. The other leads toward future fulfillment. One offers temporary relief. The other offers lasting growth. One asks very little. The other demands your best. Most people choose comfort because the price is paid later. Growth requires payment now. Comfort collects interest. Growth pays dividends. The comfortable choice often feels harmless in the moment. Yet moments become patterns. Patterns become lifestyles. Lifestyles become destinies. And destiny is nothing more than accumulated choices unfolding over time. This is why decision matters so profoundly. A single decision can alter everything, not because the decision instantly changes your circumstances, because it instantly changes your direction. Direction determines destination. A plane leaving a runway changes its destination with a tiny adjustment in angle. The difference seems insignificant at first. Hours later, it arrives in a completely different place. Your life operates under the same principle. One decision to become disciplined. One decision to take responsibility. One decision to believe in yourself. One decision to stop making excuses. One decision to pursue your purpose. One decision to raise your standards. one decision to refuse mediocrity. Those decisions may appear small in the moment. Years later, they become life-defining. Standards are especially important because they create the boundaries of your life. You do not get what you wish for consistently. You get what you tolerate. If you tolerate procrastination, procrastination grows. If you tolerate negativity, negativity expands. If you tolerate excuses, excuses multiply. If you tolerate mediocrity, mediocrity becomes normal. But the moment standards rise, life begins changing, because standards influence behavior. Behavior influences outcomes. Outcomes influence identity. Identity influences destiny. People often speak about wanting more. More success, more confidence, more achievement, more fulfillment. Yet few ask the deeper question, who must I become to create those results? Because life responds to who you become. The world often mirrors your level of growth. Increase your discipline and opportunities increase. Increase your value and influence increases. Increase your focus and results increase. Increase your resilience and possibilities increase. Everything begins internally before it appears externally. The world rewards value. Therefore, your mission is not merely to seek rewards. Your mission is to become more valuable. Develop your mind. Develop your character. Develop your skills. Develop your vision. Develop your leadership.
Develop your courage.
Become the kind of individual capable of creating extraordinary outcomes. Because success is not something you chase. Success is something you attract through growth. The person who continuously improves becomes magnetic. Opportunities recognize preparation. Possibilities recognize readiness. Fortune recognizes value. This understanding changes everything. You stop obsessing over what you can get. You focus on what you can become. And the remarkable thing is that as you become more, you naturally create more. The world begins responding differently. Not because luck suddenly arrived, because you changed. Growth creates possibilities that previously could not exist. A key cannot open a door it was not designed to fit. Likewise, certain opportunities cannot enter your life until you become the person capable of handling them. This is why adversity often serves a purpose. Challenges are not always interruptions. Sometimes they are preparation. Difficulties reveal weaknesses that need strengthening. Obstacles expose limitations that need overcoming. Pressure develops capacities that comfort never could. The strongest steel passes through intense heat. The brightest diamonds endure immense pressure. The most resilient individuals often emerge from the greatest struggles. Pain has a strange ability to reveal hidden strength. Not because pain is desirable, but because pain forces growth. Comfort rarely asks difficult questions. Adversity demands answers. Comfort rarely develops character. Adversity reveals character. Comfort rarely awakens potential. Adversity often does. Many of the qualities you admire most in others were forged through hardship. Resilience, wisdom, strength, patience, courage, perseverance. These qualities rarely emerge from easy seasons. They emerge from storms. And storms serve a purpose. Storms teach you what calm never can. They teach you how strong you really are. They teach you how committed you really are. They teach you how much you truly believe. When everything is easy, belief remains theoretical. When everything becomes difficult, belief becomes real. Because real belief continues when circumstances disagree. Real belief continues when evidence disappears. Real belief continues when results delay their arrival. Real belief is not optimism. It is conviction. Conviction is the ability to remain faithful to a vision that has not yet become visible, and every meaningful achievement requires it. There will be moments when the path ahead seems unclear, moments when uncertainty grows louder, moments when progress feels painfully slow, moments when quitting appears reasonable. Those moments arrive for everyone. The difference is not whether they arrive. The difference is how you respond when they do. Some people interpret difficulty as a signal to retreat. Others interpret difficulty as a signal to rise. Some see obstacles as evidence they should stop. Others see obstacles as evidence they are moving towards something worthwhile. Perspective changes everything. The mountain remains the mountain. The challenge remains the challenge. The obstacle remains the obstacle. Yet one person sees impossibility. Another sees opportunity. One sees defeat. Another sees growth. One sees the end. Another sees the beginning. Your perspective becomes the lens through which your future is created. And that lens can be strengthened. It can be trained. It can be elevated. Every challenge contains a hidden lesson. Every setback contains a hidden gift. Every disappointment contains a hidden opportunity. The question is whether you possess the awareness to find it, because life rarely wastes pain. Life often uses pain to redirect, refine, and prepare. The individual who understands this develops an extraordinary advantage. They stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and begin asking, "What is this teaching me?" That single shift transforms suffering into growth. It transforms obstacles into education. It transforms adversity into preparation. And preparation is often the doorway to a greater future. There is a profound difference between reacting to life and creating life. Most people spend their years reacting. They react to circumstances. They react to criticism. They react to setbacks. They react to opinions. They react to events beyond their control. As a result, their emotions become passengers in someone else's vehicle. Their direction changes with every gust of wind. Their confidence rises and falls based on external conditions. Their sense of worth becomes dependent upon outcomes. But the individuals who create extraordinary lives understand a deeper truth. Power begins the moment you stop surrendering your inner world to outer events. The world around you will always contain uncertainty. There will always be unexpected challenges. There will always be disappointments. There will always be moments when things do not unfold according to plan. If your peace depends upon perfect circumstances, peace will remain forever out of reach. If your confidence depends upon constant success, confidence will remain fragile. If your happiness depends upon universal approval, happiness will become impossible. True power emerges when your foundation is built internally rather than externally. When your values become stronger than your emotions, when your purpose becomes stronger than your fears, when your vision becomes stronger than your circumstances, that is when life changes. Because circumstances may influence you, but they no longer control you. The wind may blow, the storm may arrive, the road may become difficult, yet you continue moving forward, not because conditions became easier, because you became stronger. Strength is often misunderstood. Many imagine strength as aggression. Many imagine strength as dominance. Many imagine strength as never feeling fear. But genuine strength is something far more powerful. It is the ability to remain steady when chaos surrounds you. It is the ability to remain focused when distractions multiply. It is the ability to remain committed when convenience disappears. It is the ability to remain hopeful when evidence becomes scarce. Strength is quiet. Strength is disciplined. Strength is patient. Strength is resilient. Strength understands that temporary defeat is not permanent failure. Failure only becomes permanent when growth stops. Every remarkable individual has experienced defeat. Every visionary has faced rejection. Every creator has encountered criticism. Every leader has endured doubt. The difference is that they refuse to allow those experiences to define them. Most people interpret failure as an identity. The successful interpret failure as information. One person says, "I failed." Another says, "I learned." One person sees an ending. Another sees instruction. One person retreats. Another adjusts. One person surrenders. Another evolves. This ability to adapt may be one of the most valuable skills a human being can develop, because life is movement. Life changes. Industries change. Technology changes. Opportunities change. Challenges change. The world never stands still. Those who cling rigidly to outdated thinking often become trapped by it. Those who remain flexible continue expanding. Adaptability is not weakness. Adaptability is intelligence in motion. The river reaches the ocean not because it is stronger than every obstacle. The river reaches the ocean because it continues finding a way. When a mountain blocks its path, it adjusts. When a stone interrupts its flow, it adapts. When resistance appears, it persists. Eventually, even the hardest rock yields to consistent movement. There is wisdom in that image. Too many people stop because one path closes. They assume the dream has ended. They assume the opportunity is gone. They assume the vision was impossible. Yet often the destination remains available. Only the route must change. Life is filled with detours. Some arrive unexpectedly. Some arrive painfully. Some arrive at the exact moment you believed everything was finally coming together. But detours do not always take you away from your destination. Sometimes they guide you toward a better one. Sometimes they reveal abilities you never knew existed. Sometimes they force growth that comfort would have prevented. Trust is essential during these seasons. Not blind trust, not passive trust, but trust in your ability to continue growing through whatever appears before you. Trust in your ability to learn. Trust in your ability to adapt. Trust in your ability to rise, because there is extraordinary power hidden within self-trust. A person who trusts themselves moves differently. They decide faster. They recover quicker. They act with greater confidence. They spend less time seeking permission. They understand that certainty rarely arrives before action. Certainty often arrives because of action. The first step reveals the second. The second reveals the third. The path becomes visible through movement. This is why overthinking can become one of the most dangerous forms of procrastination. It disguises itself as preparation. It disguises itself as intelligence. It disguises itself as caution. Yet often it is fear wearing a sophisticated mask. The mind endlessly searches for guarantees. The heart waits for confidence. The perfect moment never arrives. Meanwhile, opportunities quietly pass by. There are dreams buried beneath analysis. There are futures abandoned because someone waited too long. There are possibilities that never became realities because action was postponed until certainty appeared. But certainty is not the prerequisite for action. Action is often the prerequisite for certainty. You discover your strength by using it. You discover your courage by exercising it. You discover your capability by testing it. No amount of thinking can replace experience. No amount of planning can substitute for movement. No amount of wishing can create results. The bridge between desire and reality is action. Always action. Massive transformations are often hidden inside simple actions repeated consistently. A conversation, a phone call, a workout, a book, a decision, a commitment, a promise kept, a standard raised. These moments seem insignificant while they are happening, yet entire futures can emerge from them. History is filled with lives altered by singular moments of decision. A decision to begin, a decision to continue, a decision to refuse surrender, a decision to believe despite uncertainty. One moment can redirect decades. That is why you must become intentional, because the quality of your life is shaped by the quality of your decisions. And the quality of your decisions is shaped by the quality of your thinking. Guard your thoughts, not because every thought becomes reality, but because every repeated thought becomes influence. Thoughts become beliefs. Beliefs become actions. Actions become habits. Habits become character. Character becomes destiny. This chain operates whether you notice it or not. Every day your future is quietly being constructed, brick by brick, choice by choice, thought by thought, which means every day carries extraordinary significance. Every sunrise presents another opportunity to move closer to your potential, another opportunity to strengthen your character, another opportunity to elevate your standards, another opportunity to become the person your future requires. The tragedy is not that people fail. The tragedy is that so many never fully attempt. They possess gifts they never develop, ideas they never pursue, abilities they never discover, dreams they never honor. Potential remains one of the saddest forms of waste, because potential alone changes nothing. Potential without action remains possibility. Potential combined with action becomes transformation. Imagine standing before a vast treasure chest filled with everything you could become: your courage, your wisdom, your leadership, your creativity, your resilience, your influence, your purpose, your greatness. Most of it remains locked, not because someone denied you access, not because fate refused permission, but because growth requires participation. You must claim it. You must develop it. You must earn access through consistent effort. Life rewards engagement. It rewards contribution. It rewards persistence. The treasures hidden within you reveal themselves through use. Unused strength weakens. Unused talent fades. Unused opportunity disappears. But exercised abilities expand. Used gifts multiply. Developed talents create momentum. Momentum is powerful because success tends to compound. One positive habit leads to another. One disciplined action creates confidence. One victory creates belief. One belief creates greater action. And soon what once felt impossible begins feeling natural. This is why small wins matter. Not because they are the final destination, because they prove movement is occurring. They remind you that progress exists. They reinforce the identity of someone who follows through. Momentum does not require perfection. Momentum requires consistency. Perfection is often another disguise for fear. Many people wait until they can perform flawlessly before they begin. As a result, they never begin. The pursuit of perfection frequently destroys progress. Growth requires imperfection. Learning requires mistakes. Mastery requires repetition. Every expert was once inexperienced. Every leader was once uncertain. Every champion was once unprepared. The difference is that they started anyway. They allowed growth to occur through practice. They accepted discomfort as part of development. They embraced the awkward stages most people avoid. There is freedom in releasing the need to be perfect, because perfection is not your responsibility. Growth is. Improvement is. Commitment is. Excellence is. And excellence is very different from perfection. Perfection seeks flawlessness. Excellence seeks progress. Perfection fears mistakes. Excellence learns from them. Perfection waits. Excellence acts. The person committed to excellence becomes unstoppable because they never require ideal conditions to continue. They simply keep improving, day after day, step after step, lesson after lesson, and eventually those steps carry them somewhere remarkable. The extraordinary is often nothing more than the ordinary repeated with extraordinary consistency. A disciplined morning, a focused hour, a courageous conversation, a promise honored, a standard maintained, a lesson applied. Repeated long enough, these simple actions create extraordinary outcomes, not overnight, but inevitably. The world loves dramatic transformations. Yet most transformations occur quietly, slowly, almost invisibly, until one day everyone notices the result. They notice the confidence, the success, the strength, the achievement. They call it sudden, but nothing about it was sudden. The roots were growing all along. The foundation was being built all along. The discipline was forming all along. And now the harvest has arrived. Remember this when progress feels slow. Remember this when growth feels invisible. Remember this when results seem delayed. You are not merely creating outcomes. You are creating yourself, and the person you are becoming matters more than any temporary result. Because results come and go. Character remains. Achievements rise and fall. Character remains. Circumstances change. Character remains. The greatest investment you will ever make is the investment you make in yourself. Not merely financially, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, intellectually. Because everywhere you go, you take yourself with you. Your mindset, your habits, your beliefs, your standards, your perspective, your character. These become the lens through which every opportunity is experienced and every challenge is faced. And when that inner foundation becomes strong enough, something remarkable begins to happen. You stop chasing validation. You stop depending on approval. You stop allowing criticism to define your worth, because you know who you are becoming. You know what you stand for. You know where you are going. And that certainty creates a kind of freedom few people ever experience. It is the freedom that emerges when your identity is no longer borrowed from the opinions of others. Far too many people spend their lives carrying invisible chains. Chains forged from criticism. Chains forged from comparison. Chains forged from expectations they never chose. From childhood onward, voices begin to accumulate. Voices telling them what is realistic. Voices telling them what is possible. Voices telling them who they should become. Little by little, those voices grow louder than their own. And eventually they begin living according to scripts written by someone else. They stop listening to the quiet calling inside. They stop trusting their instincts. They stop pursuing the visions that once ignited their spirit. Not because the vision disappeared, because the noise became overwhelming. But there comes a moment when a person must reclaim authorship of their own life. A moment when they decide that their future will no longer be determined by the limitations of those who cannot see what they see, because not everyone will understand your vision, and they do not have to. A seed buried beneath the ground looks insignificant to those who cannot imagine the forest hidden inside it. A sculptor sees a masterpiece within a block of stone long before anyone else does. A builder sees a towering structure while standing on an empty field. Vision always sees what others cannot yet see. That is why conviction matters, because there will be seasons when your belief must carry the dream entirely by itself. No applause, no validation, no guarantees, only faith. Faith in what you are building, faith in where you are going, faith in who you are becoming. The strongest individuals learn to draw strength from within, not because they reject support, but because they understand that external encouragement cannot permanently replace internal conviction. Eventually, every person reaches a point where they must become their own source of belief. They must learn to encourage themselves, to challenge themselves, to push themselves, to elevate themselves, to lead themselves. Self-leadership is one of the rarest skills in the world. Many people wish to lead others. Few learn to lead themselves. Yet every meaningful form of leadership begins internally. Before you can influence the world around you, you must master the world within you. Your thoughts, your habits, your emotions, your reactions, your focus, your discipline. This inner mastery creates outer power. Without it, success becomes unstable. With it, success becomes sustainable, because life has a way of testing foundations. A weak foundation eventually reveals itself. A strong foundation withstands pressure. And pressure is inevitable. There will always be moments when life asks difficult questions. Moments when comfort invites you backward. Moments when fear demands surrender. Moments when exhaustion whispers that enough is enough. These moments reveal what has truly been built inside you. When pressure arrives, you do not rise to your wishes. You fall to your level of preparation. That is why every day matters. Every discipline matters. Every promise you keep to yourself matters. Every standard you maintain matters. Every act of integrity matters. Integrity is a powerful force because it creates alignment. Alignment between what you say and what you do. Alignment between what you believe and how you act. Alignment between your vision and your behavior. When alignment exists, confidence grows naturally. Because confidence is not built through positive thinking alone. Confidence is built through evidence. Evidence created by consistent action. Every time you honor a commitment, confidence grows. Every time you follow through despite resistance, confidence grows. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, confidence grows. Confidence is earned, not granted, not inherited, not purchased, earned. And once earned, it becomes one of the greatest assets a human being can possess. Because confidence changes the way you approach opportunity. It changes the way you respond to adversity. It changes the way you communicate. It changes the way you carry yourself. It changes the energy you bring into every room. People often believe confidence comes after success. The truth is that confidence often creates success, not arrogance, not entitlement. Confidence, the quiet certainty that regardless of what happens, you will find a way forward. The quiet certainty that obstacles can be overcome. The quiet certainty that setbacks can become lessons. The quiet certainty that growth remains possible. This certainty becomes a powerful force. It allows you to move while others hesitate, to decide while others doubt, to act while others analyze, to persist while others quit. And over time, these differences compound. Years later, people look at extraordinary achievement and assume it emerged from talent. Sometimes talent plays a role, but far more often achievement emerges from persistence, from consistency, from discipline, from resilience, from years of refusing to stop. The world frequently underestimates persistence because persistence appears ordinary. Anyone can be enthusiastic for a day. Anyone can be motivated for a week. Anyone can feel inspired during favorable circumstances. Persistence continues after inspiration fades. Persistence continues when motivation disappears. Persistence continues when progress becomes difficult to measure. Persistence understands something incredibly important. The person who remains in the game long enough gains advantages unavailable to those who leave early. Time rewards commitment. Time rewards patience. Time rewards consistency. Imagine two individuals standing at the base of a mountain. One climbs intensely for a short period, then stops. The other climbs steadily day after day, month after month, year after year. The difference may appear insignificant on any given day, But eventually the gap becomes enormous. Life is filled with these invisible gaps. Small disciplines creating large outcomes, small improvements creating large advantages, small decisions creating entirely different futures. Never underestimate the power of sustained effort. The river does not conquer the rock through force. It conquers through persistence. The sunrise does not arrive instantly. It arrives gradually. Yet eventually darkness disappears. Progress often works the same way. Gradually, quietly, steadily, until one day the landscape has completely changed. This is why patience must walk beside ambition. Ambition without patience becomes frustration. Patience without ambition becomes stagnation. Together they create powerful momentum. The ability to dream boldly while working steadily. The ability to pursue greatness while respecting the process. The ability to maintain faith while progress unfolds. The process matters far more than most people realize, because who you become during the journey is more valuable than the destination itself. A destination can be reached and lost. Character stays. Wisdom stays. Discipline stays. Resilience stays. Growth stays. The greatest rewards are often internal. The confidence earned through struggle. The strength developed through adversity. The wisdom gained through experience. The self-respect created through discipline. No one can take these things from you. They become part of who you are. And as your inner world strengthens, your relationship with gratitude begins to change. Many people misunderstand gratitude. They treat it as something reserved for moments when everything is going well. But gratitude is most powerful when practiced during challenge, because gratitude trains your focus. It teaches your mind to recognize abundance even while pursuing more. It reminds you that growth and appreciation can coexist. That ambition and gratitude are not enemies. You can be grateful for where you are while remaining committed to where you are going. You can appreciate your progress while continuing your pursuit. You can celebrate today's blessings while building tomorrow's vision. This balance creates fulfillment. Without gratitude, achievement becomes an endless chase. Without ambition, gratitude becomes complacency. Together they create a meaningful life, a life where success is measured not only by possessions, not only by accomplishments, not only by status, but by contribution, impact, growth, purpose. The deepest fulfillment rarely comes from what you accumulate. It comes from what you become. And from what you give, every human being carries influence, whether they realize it or not. Every action influences someone. Every attitude influences someone. Every example influences someone. Your courage gives others permission to be courageous. Your discipline inspires discipline. Your resilience inspires resilience. Your growth creates possibilities for others. This means your life is larger than you think. The standards you maintain ripple outward. The character you develop ripples outward. The example you set ripples outward. You may never fully know whose life changed because you refused to quit, whose hope returned because you kept believing, whose courage awakened because they witnessed your perseverance. Impact often travels farther than visibility. A tree does not eat its own fruit. A river does not drink its own water. Their existence benefits others. Human greatness often works the same way. The highest expression of success is contribution. The highest expression of achievement is service. The highest expression of growth is helping others grow. And something remarkable happens when your life becomes connected to a purpose larger than yourself. Your energy expands. Your resilience deepens. Your commitment strengthens. Because now your efforts carry greater meaning. Meaning fuels endurance. Meaning fuels persistence. Meaning fuels greatness. There will always be reasons to stop, reasons to doubt, reasons to delay, reasons to settle. The world supplies those freely, but there are also reasons to continue, reasons to believe, reasons to rise, reasons to become more. And those reasons matter, because within you exists more potential than you have yet expressed, more strength than you have yet discovered, more courage than you have yet demonstrated, more wisdom than you have yet applied, more greatness than you have yet revealed. The version of you that exists today is not the final version. It is merely the current chapter. There are still mountains to climb, lessons to learn, skills to develop, dreams to pursue, victories to earn, contributions to make. The story is not finished, not even close. As long as you are breathing, possibility remains. As long as you are willing to grow, opportunity remains. As long as you are willing to act, transformation remains available. And everything returns to the same truth, the truth that separates extraordinary lives from ordinary ones, the truth that quietly changes destinies, the truth that turns potential into reality. The life you want begins with one decision to stop waiting, one decision to stop doubting, one decision to stop surrendering your future to fear, one decision to believe that your circumstances do not define your destiny, one decision to believe that your past does not determine your future, one decision to believe that your greatest days may still be ahead of you, one decision to rise, one decision to commit, one decision to begin. Because the door you have been waiting to walk through may not be opened by luck. It may not be opened by timing. It may not be opened by permission. It may be opened by the choice you make today, the choice to trust your vision, the choice to strengthen your mind, the choice to elevate your standards, the choice to pursue your purpose, the choice to act despite uncertainty, the choice to continue despite difficulty, the choice to become the architect of your own destiny. And when that decision is finally made with absolute conviction, something powerful happens. The mind aligns, the spirit awakens, the excuses lose their authority, the fear loses its command. The future begins pulling you forward, not because the road suddenly becomes easy, but because you finally become unstoppable. And from that moment forward, every step carries new meaning. Every challenge becomes training. Every setback becomes instruction. Every victory becomes confirmation. Every day becomes an opportunity to move closer to the highest version of yourself. Not someday, not eventually, not when conditions improve. Now, because the life you want has never been waiting for perfect circumstances. It has been waiting for your decision.